Hello and welcome back to Bricking It, and today we're working on our champions tent for our trilogy tournament hidden scene. So let's get started. So the reverse of our display is already prepared with some book covers, somewhat temporary at the moment, but they'll be updated when I get better parts. So we're going to start on the back wall of the tent, which is actually built into our book cover wall. This design is seen on the back wall of the tent in the movies, and below it are the two cells for the contestants. Got these a couple of bricks with just a tile on top, and here again a couple of plates with a tile just on a row of 1x2 jumpers, just to complete those dividing walls between the champion cells. Next job is to tile off the cells themselves and just finish that back wall of the tent. Nothing special here, and again the choice of tiles is really dependent on what I've got rather necessarily than what I might have chosen. Just going to fill these all in here, repeat the same on the other side. Moving on to the base of the tent now. Just going to take a 1x2 jumper and place this in the centre. It's going to hold up our central tent pole a bit later on. To hold the back of the tent onto our base, I'm just going to use these bracket pieces. These going to slot into these two empty spaces in the back wall of our tent. The walls are built up simply, just with an array of bricks and plates. Again, there's no real particular reason for the choices, other than they're what I had to hand. See, we've got one of these large panels in to fill in the front, just to give it a smoother look. Count these off with some bricks and then some rows of plates on the top, just to bring it up to the height we need. Same again with the other wall. And that's the basic wall structure complete. So now, to separate our changing rooms from the rest of the tent, the common areas, there are these nice pair of large drapes that we assume can be brought down in front of the changing areas. Not that we actually see it in the movies, but this is what we're going to be replicating now. So we're building this up with a variety of tiles, plates and curved slopes, just to build up the depth of our drapes. These are going to look a little bit uneven at the back once we complete the build, but due to the nature of our roof, we're not going to see anything except a nice clean line along the top. See me adding the hinge down here. This is going to put a dividing line for the bottom of the drapes as they're tied back. I'm going to build this up with layers of alternating 1x3 and 1x2 plate, then capping it off with the same in tile, just to get that nice smoothed out surface. Here's the first of our drapes, and then the other side is just the repeat. On the back we've built in these bar pieces, and these are going to hold a couple of 1x2 clips. I'll put that on the right way around, and then we're going to attach these onto the back of the tent using these 1x2 jumpers. Benefit of the clips on the bars that they can just be slid up and down just to fine tune that positioning. Once we get them lined up nicely, put the bottom of the drapes in, pull it down the bar just to get everything lined up nicely against the floor of the tent. There we go, there's our drapes now in place. So building up the roof, we're just going to add more plate layer on the top here, just to secure all the bits of wall together. Now we're going to start building our roof. So got a couple more clips with these long hinges built into them, and just using cheese slopes to fill in the gaps. just so we don't get any visual gaps between the wall and roof of the tent. And just here you can see that we're starting to build a gap for our drapes to fit into, so they just disappear seamlessly into the roof. So the roof's a very simple construction of plates. Again, we do need to leave a gap for our drapes to disappear into. I'm going to start building that in as we go up our plate layer. Using some brown one by here just to represent maybe a few tent poles or ridges. And build up our plate layers all the way up to the top there. Again, these can't be connected at this plate layer, just to make sure we've got room for our drapes. And in fact, I'm making a decision here to change one of my plates to a shorter one so I can put a clip in, just so we can start connecting our tent roof together. Here's where we start to join up the roof, and as you can see, that gap extends the full length from here, and it's now deep enough that we can cover that gap with our tile layer that we're using to pattern our roof. It's actually going to extend one stub below our plate layer just to cover up the workings, so we get a slightly more appealing appearance from outside. So now the roof's complete, just lay that down into position. As you can see, it covers up all the unsightly shapes on the back of our drapes. Gives us a nice straight line. The other side's going to be same sort of method but different execution. Here we're just going to make that gap for our drapes to disappear into at the back wall of the tent. Pop a cheese wedge in just to fill the gap between those two. And as we secure this, it'll also come down nicely to cover our drapes. Got a couple of clips on the top there. We're not actually clipping the two halves of the roof together. Those clips are going to serve a purpose a little later on. And we move to the front of the roof, built up exactly the same way. As you can see, our clip there, just on the front to secure the two sides of the roof together to keep them still. So here's our two clips, just to kind of secure one of these bars in. The roof's perfectly secure, but we do want to secure the back of the roof. The back of the roof is actually going to be stabilised to our main tent pole. It's just a few cylinders with a bar piece inside for stability. Got a round plate and a modified plate on top of that, and another stack of cylinders, this time with a clip on top. And this piece is just going to clip onto that bar that we've got in place just to help stabilise it. And then we can bring our roof down either side and secure with our clip. That's the main structure of our tent done, but we do have this large hole in the side of the roof here, so let's fill that up. I'm going to start off with just a bit of plate, and what we're going to be building here is a large wooden platform that's coming out of the side of the tent. This is actually featured in the movie, although it's much higher up, and doesn't take up the entire side of the roof. But this is where Filch is with his cannon that he lets off to signal the start of the task. We're just going to build that up with these plates as a clip to attach it to the central pole. And what we're just going to plate off the end of that just for neatness and secure it. Now it's all finished onto our tent pole. So that's our cannon platform secured in there. Just sits on top of the wall just to keep it stable. Now we can start filling that up. So we've got a modified plate And yet another modified plate, this time with the single bar on top. Yet another modified plate, this time with a clip on top. This is going to form the body of our cannon. To fill in our cannon wheels, we're going to have a plate 1 by 1 and then a 2 by 2 circular tile. Same again on the other side. Just to make it a bit more visually interesting, use one of these ones with the little jumper in the middle. And that's the main carriage for our cannon. Barrel simply built out of 2 of these dark grey candle pieces and one of these pin plates into the end like that. That just gives us our cannon. Keeps our cannon nice and small. It's only a little 2-pounder, possibly even smaller than that in the movie. And then using these 3 headlight holes, just going to pop a clip on there and secure our cannon in place. And then to finish off the platform, we've got the man himself, Filch, standing up there, ready to get things started. So that is largely our tent structure complete. But of course, it wouldn't be finished off without our champions. So here's Fleur with her model of the Welsh Green. Crumb with his Chinese fireball. Ooh. Cedric, of course, with his Swedish short snout. And that only leaves Harry and the Horntail. So there we go, as our champions with their dragons. Their choice is now made. They are ready to compete in the tournament. So there we go, it's the backs. They're going to be updated to something a bit more interesting, and again possibly representing each of the 4 champions, just to give a bit of unity with the other books with this selection. So there it is. That's our Triwizard Tournament First Task Champions Tent mock. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave us a like. And if you'd like to see more hidden scenes mocks, then please subscribe to Bricking It. Bye bye.